Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of the Fishing Teacher, and really appreciate you guys coming by the channel to spend some time with me on the video today. Guys, today I want to share with y'all what I consider is the best tip that I can give you to become a better bass angler. Out of all the thousands and thousands of different tips I can give you, there's one that stands head and above anything else. You probably are not going to guess what it is that's going to allow you to become a better angler quicker, so we're going to get into that in today's video. Also, guys, couple quick invitations, actually. Just like to invite everybody to just please consider subscribing here to the Fishing Teacher. It's free and easy. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button and you'll never miss a video. And also, please check out our Fish the Moment lake map breakdowns that I build for Fish the Moment. These are great resources to learn more about your favorite lake or a lake you're struggling on. Gives you a lot of good fishing places. So I'll put the Fish the Moment lake map breakdown for my maps in the link in this description of the video. Really appreciate that. Okay, guys, bass fishing, we've talked about this before. It's the most difficult sport on the world. I'd argue that to anyone because you have literally a limitless amount of controlled and uncontrolled variables that determine your success. You're dealing with a creature that is unpredictable at times and doesn't make any sense at times. And along with everything else that you have to deal with, there's a lot going on in fishing that, determines if you're going to catch them or not. Here is the number one tip that I'm going to give you. If you want to do anything else to improve your fishing, here's what it is, and I'm going to talk a little bit about it. And that is realize and recognize the fact that your imagination and your creativity as an angler is more important than your experience. I had a hard time believing this, guys, but I can assure you that that's the case without any doubt in my mind. Now, one of the things about it is there are very few true innovations in bass fishing in terms of lures. Most lures that you see now out there today are some type of a improvement or a modification to an existing lure category. True innovation is rare. It really, really is. I mean, even probably the greatest lure of all time, which is the Cinco, is basically just a modification of a plastic worm. It's like one of probably the last greatest true innovation we've had in lure technology has been the chatterbait. That was a true innovative, lure design that we haven't seen then. But what I want to talk about today is the importance of creativity and imagination, because the thing about it is, guys, we don't understand so much about the bass, and I always say this: we don't ever want to. You do not want to understand everything about the bass. The bass need to remain a mystery, and their behaviors and what they do and their preferences need to become and stay a mystery, because that's what maintains that magic in fishing. So never get to the point where you tell yourself, I want to know everything about the bass, because you don't. If you knew everything about the bass, it'd take all the fun away from it. I do know one thing about when it comes to catching fish, though, is I always was from the school that the more time you spend on the water and the more experience that you gather, the better you're going to be as an angler. And there is an element to truth to that, but there's more untruths than truths. What I have found and seen and witnessed and experienced firsthand in my own fishing, the jumps in your fishing success out there and the true innovations and the things that will give you confidence in yourself is by developing techniques and approaches using your own creativity and imagination. Now, here's a couple different ways that I've seen this. It's like, as a tournament angler, guys, I get locked in to things that I like to do. I got favorite colors. I've got favorite lures that I like to use under certain situations, and they work a lot of the times. But I get schooled, and I have been schooled over and over again by other people that were fishing with me, where we'd be fishing down a bank or we'd be fishing some boat docks or whatever, and somebody that was fishing with me that may not have very much experience in fishing at all, they whacked my butt on something that I would never try in a million years. It could be a different color, it could be a different lure, it could be a different size of lure, it could be the way you're working the lure. There's things that I have purposely limited myself to expanding my repertoire simply because I've been effective with the way that I do continue to fish. But I've seen too many situations where people were able to catch more bass than I was doing something that made no sense at all. Things like fishing a color of lure in dirty water that I never would have tried, like a natural color in dirty water, or somebody fishing a really bright lure in super clear water where I think more of a naturalistic presentation is going to work better, or somebody fishing a lure at a snail's pace or not even moving it for 2 or 3 minutes, or somebody fishing a lure that I fish slow, super fast. So this ought to give you a tremendous amount of confidence as far as, if you don't have a lot of fishing experience, how powerful just creativity and imagination is. Because from what I have seen, when you're talking about getting a bass to react to a lure, a lot of times it's more about showing the bass something that they've never seen before than it is showing them something that you think they're going to hit. Bass are smart, and they get conditioned to lures extremely quick, far quicker than what most people would ever dream of. I mean, they fail fast, they learn fast, they don't make a lot of mistakes, and they get wise to stuff in a hurry. So it behooves you to try stuff all the times that you don't feel anyone else is trying or would never try. So how you can take advantage of this is, if you're out fishing and you have, it's like, say you're not catching them and you said, man, I need to try this, or I need to try this color, or I bet the bass have never seen this color, or let me try working this crankbait in this manner that I've never heard anyone working it before. Anything like that, give it a try. That's how you develop new techniques, and that's how you develop new styles, and that's how you figure things out. I look back at all my bag of tricks that I've gotten fishing, that I've developed over decades and decades and decades. And a lot of it is just me using my imagination and the creativity, behind that, in order to develop different colors, different ways that I work a lure, or different boat angles, anything like that. That's how that stuff comes up. So, let me give you one example here. Here's like a quick example. It's like, people think that in the wintertime, bass are not very aggressive. They're lethargic, and they don't move fast, and they don't chase very much because they're cold-blooded animals, and if the water temperature is 40 degrees, they're like a snake or a turtle. They're just not going to move much. And I agreed with that. I've seen it over and over that you do need to slow down in the wintertime. I was fishing last year on Table Rock, or 2 years ago on Table Rock Lake, and I was fishing a jerkbait. It was January. Water temperature was like 41 degrees, super cold. And I was catching a few, but not very many. It was a tough day of fishing. So anyway, I'm fishing along there, and I'm throwing this jerkbait out over some trees, and I get caught up in a tree. I get hung up, and I'm pulling the bait hard, trying to get it off there. I'm snapping the rod tip. And one time I snapped the rod tip super hard, and the bait came off of the tree that I snapped real hard. And I'm talking about, it darted like a rocket. And about a 3-pound spotted bass just nailed the thing as it was darting out like that. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I pulled that thing off that limb like a rocket, and that fish in 40-degree water, nailed that thing. And I started doing that. I started working my jerkbait really fast and erratic in that cold water, and wound up catching 7 or 8 fish that afternoon, doing that. And I never would have in a million years done that if I hadn't gotten hung up. So use things like that. Use that to your advantage. Or let's say, for example, you're fishing down a bank where there's a lot of fishing pressure, and you look up ahead of you and you see everybody's throwing a green pumpkin shaky head, or everybody's throwing a fire tiger square bill crankbait, or everybody's got a white and chartreuse spinnerbait on. Go through the same area with something different. Put on a black spinnerbait with a black blade. Put on a red and orange crankbait if everyone's throwing a fire tiger. Put on something that the fish are not seeing from other people, even though it doesn't make any sense. Especially colors. Colors is a big way that you can experiment, different type of colors in different situations. So that's a big one, guys. I'm telling you right now, it may not sound like that big of a deal, but if you have an idea, something pops into your mind, it doesn't take 15 minutes to give it a try. And that's how things are figured out a lot, not just in fishing, but that's how inventions are found out. The thing about anything that we have in life, it doesn't matter if it's a light bulb, or if it's a car, or if it's a fishing lure, that initially was a thought in somebody's mind that physically manifested once they brought that thought into reality. And that's the same with doing better in fishing and figuring out new ways to catch fish, is just experimenting. You know, a lot of times it won't work, but sometimes you're going to hit on something that does occasionally. So anyway, I hope it helps out, guys. We'll talk later.